Going on, Inconceivable family? Back for another workout here. So today it's an 8-minute AMRAP. We're going to be doing some front squats, some kettlebell swings or dumbbells to overhead, and then finishing with some burpees for the home version here. So should be lots of fun. We're going to warm up our hips really well for all those hip hinge movements. Going to start the clock, and first thing we're going to do is jog in place. So we got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And jog. Nice and easy, soft knees, soft ankles. Feel free to shake the hands out a little bit if you want to. Maybe rotate those elbows a touch. We're just at 15 seconds here. So nice and easy. We're gonna bring up the intensity a little bit as we move on through the workout here. So coming up to 30 seconds, first thing we're gonna do is Samson lunge in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, so big step forward, keep the knee directly over the ankle and reach tall, then feel a stretch in that hip flexor and back quad. And we're also warming up the glutes a little bit with this one. So go at your own pace. These aren't for speed, more for quality here. Next movement we're gonna go into is a glute bridge. Basically we're gonna rep out some glute bridges in 5 seconds here. So come on down on your backs, and then hands where they can touch your heels. You're just gonna drive those hips up to the sky, pressing through the heels and squeezing the glutes. So you should feel a nice intensity in the glutes and the hamstrings. And 15 seconds down, then we're gonna go to some high knees. So keep squeezing the glutes to get the hips as high up as you can. 5 more seconds. Transition to the high knees, and we're gonna set those hands above the waistline for a target. If this is too intense, you can step it out. You can even skip it out if that's easier for you. Starting to get that heart pumping a little bit now. Next thing we're gonna do is Spider-Mans in 15 seconds here. And that will allow us to stretch out the hamstrings and hips a little more. So 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, so Spider-Mans, come on down. We're just gonna alternate sides here. So nice deep stretch in each side. We should get maybe 3 on each side here. 15 seconds down, nice and slow, kind of sink into it. As you warm up, if you can get that inside elbow down, that's great. So even it up. Make sure you've done the same number on both sides. Now we're doing a single leg glute bridge. So same thing, one leg goes up, press high, down, switch legs, other side, and just keep alternating it, driving through the heel, squeezing the glutes. Trying to keep those knees and thighs parallel to each other. And what's next? Got some butt kickers in 10 seconds. So try to even it out, do the same number on both sides here. And then we're gonna rotate into some butt kickers. So try to keep those knees pointed towards the floor and use your hamstrings and your calf muscles to kind of pull the foot up to the glute here. And again, it's okay to go a little bit faster now. Trying to warm up. Next thing we got is inchworm to push-ups, so that's going to give us a second to breathe. So on this one, we're going to try to keep those legs straight. Walk yourself out to a push-up. You can push up from your knees if you need to. And then walk back, keeping your legs as straight as possible for as long as possible. Stretch out those hamstrings. So one more here. And let's stay down on the ground. This time we're gonna do a Superman or Superwoman. So we're trying to squeeze the back muscle, the glutes, the hamstrings, and just pull the chest and arms off the ground, as well as the feet. So you should just have contact right here at the bottom of your rib cage, through your abdomen, and at the top of the hips. Trying to warm up that posterior chain there. And 10 more seconds. If you have to drop down for a second, go ahead and do that, get right back into it. 5 more seconds. All right. just for a little bit more hip opener, we're gonna get 5 each side, just a rotation. You're starting up in the front and rotating outwards. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, now that we got those hips open, we're gonna do 10 air squats or body squats. So feet just outside the hips, toes pointed slightly outward. First thing we're gonna do is shoot those hips back and then bend down to where our thighs are parallel. Knees are over the toes here. You don't want them leaning forward or too far back. And then we're gonna start with the chest up, come on back. So 10 of those. I'll do 5 from the front view. This is my 5th. So again, first thing that happens is the hips go back and then you're keeping your chest tall. So if you need to have your hands overhead, you can do that. I did a bunch of heavy squats yesterday, so forgive me if I don't quite hit depth on all of these. So next thing we want to do is prep for burpees a little bit. We're going to do 10 frog hops. We're going to keep our hands on the ground. So we start here and actually release the hands, that's better. And just get to the bottom of that burpee pop-up position. And what that's doing is working on the explosiveness of the hips, warming up the core a little bit more. After you finish 10 of those, I'm going to go over the movements for the workout here. So first thing we have is, if you're using a kettlebell, it's going to be 9 goblet squats. So you'll hold up in a front position like this, and then we're going to squat down with that weight in front of us. So again, it's important to keep the back straight, hips go back first. You want the weight evenly distributed through the feet. We're going to squeeze the glutes to stand up tall. If you have 2 lighter dumbbells instead of a kettlebell, what we're going to do is just hold that front rack position and do front squats. Same stimulus here. And then the next movement is going to be 7 kettlebell overhead swings or dumbbell overhead swings. So for the kettlebell swings, again, it's all on the hip hinge. We want a slight bend in the knees. We're going to hike that weight back on the first one, hike it back, and then explode the hips up overhead. So again, you want your back straight the whole time, slight bend in the knees when we get down to the bottom here, and really explode upwards. So imagine if you're in this position, you're going to jump as tall as you can. That's what we're trying to do, is jump so we can bring that weight overhead. If you're using dumbbells instead, what we're going to do is kind of like a double press style. You can swing and get these up overhead. You can keep straight arms if you want, or you can get a bend and kind of do like a fluid clean and jerk or a snatch. But basically, same stimulus here, trying to keep the back straight, hinge at the hips, throw the hips forward, get those weights overhead. And then the last thing is burpees. We all love burpees. You're going to come down to the ground here. So squatting is going to save your back. Squat down far, get your hands here, and then hop back. And then don't control so much on the way down. You want to get to the ground as quickly as possible. And then pop up, just like we did with those frog hops. You're using a little hip explosion here. Boom. And then we're going to stand up tall with a small jump and just get those hips fully extended. So options for the burpees, of course, you can do step backs and you can go to your knees for the push-ups. All right, we got some variations there. Go ahead and get one practice round where you're going to do 9, 7, and 5 of those movements, and then come on back, we're going to do the WOD together. Thanks.